now to share information. That's all I am. You know what I'm saying? So there are 5 archetypes of the chosen ones, all right? You have the warrior archetype, you have the healer archetype, you have the teacher archetype, you have the royalty archetype, and you also have the magician archetype, all right? So before we get into this video, do me a favor. YouTube algorithm is very sensitive when it comes to the occult. It's the occult. Remember, the occult is what they don't, So let's like the video up and do me a favor, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So let's get straight into it, y'all. So the first archetype we're going to go into is going to be the magician archetype. All right. So the first magician archetype zodiac sign will be Pisces. Pisces have that magician archetype because they're ruled by the 12th house. So when you understand the 12th house is all about spirituality. It's all about the unseen. It's all about things you can't see at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Pisces are always battling between two sides. They're represented by two fishes. All right, so two fishes. So there's two sides. They're battling between two sides at all times. So they're very magical. They do a lot of magic in their mind. They do mental magic. It's called mental magic. They do visualization magic. All right. They visualize all the time and they're always manifesting, whether that's looking at the sun, whether that's thinking about their soulmate. But Pisces have a strong magician energy. They can be deceptive. You know, that's what a magician does. Has a lot of tricks up their sleeves. You know what I'm saying? They're adaptable. They're a mutable sign. So Pisces are very, very magical signs. All right. They're very intuitive. They are obsessed. They're actually fascinated with the afterlife. They have intuitive abilities, the strongest intuition. So Pisces, without a doubt, have an intimidating magician archetype. They are without a doubt some of the most powerful magicians. They don't need candles. They can just do it with their mind. All right. They can get themselves, because this sign is a sign that understands energy. And that's what basically the magician archetype is. It's energy, it's transmutation, it's changing, it's having all types of tricks up your sleeve. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. And it's able to alchemize and use that phoenix energy to change things. All right. So Pisces, you guys prosper when it comes to the magician archetype. It is one of your purposes because you guys are so darn unique. You have all these sides. You guys are also the shapeshifter. They like to say Pisces is the shapeshifter because when you shapeshift, you can shapeshift between multiple personalities. You guys can shapeshift. You guys have so many different sides, very incalculable. So you can't really predict the Pisces on things. Like they said, Aquarius is unpredictable. Pisces is unpredictable as well because there's so many different sides to them. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really know who's gonna wake up on the bed tomorrow. When you're dealing with a Pisces, when you're dating a Pisces, you don't know who is gonna wake up. You know what I'm saying? So Pisces are very, very, very magical. All right. They alchemize energy beautifully too because they understand that we are just energy. This is the last sign before going back to source. Okay. So since it's the last sign before going back to source, they understand that they're barely in the physical realm. This is why when you're looking at a Pisces, their eyes are so magical, or a Pisces rising, because like they're magical beings. They're like barely in reality. This is why they don't take life as serious as some other signs, because they understand we're just a soul having a human experience. All right. So without a doubt, Pisces are here to be the magician archetype. Number, look at your whole natal chart for this video. Don't just look at one sign and be like, okay, we have multiple archetypes. All right. The intention of this video is to find the primary archetype of you as a chosen one. All right. So if you have Pisces and then Leo and then this, you have multiple archetypes. All right. Well, if you have a lot of Pisces, you have a lot of that magician archetype, the ability to adapt, change, manifest through unseen activity, through doing things to make things happen through rituals. You know what I'm saying? You're just so imaginative. You can make things happen with your mind. You can pray. So you're like the magician archetype. You don't need physical power. Your spiritual power. That's what the magician archetype is. You guys have a lot of spiritual power. That spiritual power is where you draw a lot of your power from. All right. So the next sign will be Gemini. Gemini has the magician archetype because you guys are the wordsmith. All right. You guys live in a whirlwind of words. You guys have strong words. Okay. Your words are swords. All right. We understand that spelling, in order to make a spell, you have to spell it out. Geminis are the wordsmith. So they're dealing with words. Like, you know how we have, people have guns and knives. Geminis, their guns and knives are words. Okay. So they're like, without a doubt, Geminis are some of the most powerful magicians of all time, because if they write a certain spell, they're going to come out with the best words. They're going to rhyme the rhythm, then bring it out really well. Okay. So Geminis, without a doubt, very, very feared magicians when they tap into their magical arts. They are also very deceptive, very they have they're very mischievous, and they have the ability to literally have a lot of tricks up their sleeve. All right, two sides, mutable, adaptable, very, very magical. You cannot predict a Gemini. Anytime you think you know a Gemini, you're going to be wrong because they always have some type of other trick up their sleeve. Okay, so very, very, very magical. They also have a strong crown chakra because they're very intelligent. You understand? So when you're up in that intelligence, the crown chakra also deals with cognitive functions. So Geminis are very, very intelligent and they have the ability to outsmart you. Okay, now, the last zodiac sign dealing with the magician archetype will be Scorpio. Scorpios actually deal with witches. They deal with warlocks. They are that archetype truly, right? They rule the eighth house in astrology, and the eighth house is everything magic. Okay, it's the occult, the astrology, the human design, the cartomancy. You don't hear about people talking about cartomancy and human design and how we're designed psychologically. That's psychology. You know what I'm saying? That's things that people try to hide from us. So Scorpios is also dealing with magic. The occult is magic. Scorpio rules magic. Okay, so Scorpios have a strong magical side to them. They're actually one of the most magical signs, top three besides Gemini and Pisces. So Scorpio, you guys rule magic. Okay, you guys have the ability. You guys are considered to be the most powerful sign because magic is everything to a Scorpio. All right, whether it's doing rituals. A lot of Scorpios that I meet, they like to do rituals. They like to manifest through the unseen. A lot of the time it runs in the bloodline. Okay, you understand that a lot of the times if you do something, it runs in your bloodline. Like if you love to teach, you might have had a teacher in your past, and one of your past ancestors was a teacher. If you like to do rituals, you might have had a lot of them in your ancestors. If you like to do whatever you like to do, it's always going to run in your bloodline. All right. So Scorpios have a strong magician archetype because they're so drawn. Remember, this is ruled by Pluto. Pluto's that control, like a super doesn't want to let go. Like, "Rah." You guys are ruled by Pluto. So it's like very obsessive, and you guys are obsessed with the truth. Remember, y'all ruled by the eighth house. You guys are obsessed with the truth. So being obsessed with the truth, you guys are obsessed with power. You guys not only are obsessed with power, you recognize power, and you also respect power. All right. So Scorpios respect power. They know who's the most powerful person in the room. That's how powerful Scorpios are, and they respect that. But they're very hyper aware of power, and a lot of the times, they love spiritual power because they're also spiritual. They understand that spiritual power is stronger than physical power. You can be strong, you can look all this tough, but that's not stronger than a magician. A magician can just take you out. You know what I'm saying? So they're obsessed with magic. Okay, they're obsessed with that because there's also things that are hidden. It's dark. Number Scorpio deals with the underworld. The underworld is things that they go through a lot of underworld stages and what they call like all types of awakenings and all these processes of going through. So they're totally comfortable with going through that dark side. We're going through these dark things in life. All right. So Scorpio, without a doubt, very strong magician archetype. You guys are dark. You guys are realistic. You guys understand that life isn't all peachy creamy, Disney World, and Looney Tunes. You guys understand that. You guys are satisfied with that. All right. Now the next one would be the warrior archetype. All right. So the warrior archetype is a very, very, very important archetype because the warrior archetypes are the warriors who fight for a cause. Okay. So we have Aquarius, and we have Scorpio. All right. So Aries has the warrior archetype because they are very fiery, they get mad fast, and they're also ready all the time. Right. So when I say get mad fast, not by everything, but it's more about like if you start talking about the Aries, about like their if a girlfriend starts talking to an Aries about their exes, that's going to get an Aries mad. So it's like that. They get irritated fast. I don't want necessarily say mad, but they're always ready. This is a sign that is always ready. They're prepared for combat because this is a fire sign. This is a cardinal fire sign. So they're always ready to start something or end something. Usually end something. I know there's a lot of Aries. They're always ready to end something, but they're ready to end something because they don't mind because it's fire. Fire is like when they say fire signs are fire, they like to look fire. Fire signs like to literally look fire. You know what I'm saying? Dress fire, talk fire, be fire. They don't like looking bad. Fire signs hate looking bad because they don't look fire. They don't like looking stupid. This is why fire signs like they find out you cheat on them, you're done with because they do not like looking stupid. They want to always come out and be the best of the best. Okay, this is why fire signs. This is why I like fire signs because they get a lot of respect. They're very confident. They never want to look bad. Fire signs hate looking bad. All right, so you have to understand that fire signs. This fire sign, and particularly Aries, you guys have the warrior archetype being ruled by Mars. Mars is the fairy planet, the first house. You care about yourself. You move ahead first, only you. So you will always come across competition because you are what you attract, Aries. So if you are competitive, you're going to attract a lot of that competition. That's just what it is in life. So you will attract competition. You will go through a lot of self battles though. Since Aries rules the first house, a lot of the battles, Aries, it will be your own self. It will be your own demons, right? Scorpio has more battles with other people because of the eighth house. Aries fights more themselves. Aries' biggest battle is their own demons because number they're also very fiery. They have a lot of ambition, so all that ambition can really just like make them like so angry and they can have so much drive and they can also burn a lot of bridges. Aries, be careful with burning a lot of bridges. Y'all can really burn a lot of bridges for no reason, so really watch out for that. But the next warrior archetype would be Scorpio. All right, now, Scorpio, you guys go through a lot of wars with people sometimes because it has to do with power struggles. Scorpios go through a lot of power struggles, all right? So, power struggles is a big thing with you guys. You will notice that you go through power struggles with maybe relationships, parents, family, but you guys have that warrior energy because you're represented by Mars and Pluto. So, Mars and Pluto together give you an amplified solar plexus. Number Mars represents kind of like your solar plexus, your willpower, and Pluto amplifies whatever Pluto merges with. It amplifies it. It adds an extra source of power because Pluto means power. Okay, so you guys are all about power struggles, ego, all that. All that. You guys can see all that. So a lot of Scorpios go through a lot of war. You guys are competitive like Aries, but you guys are more secretive with it. You guys hide it more, but that warrior energy is there. It is very strong. And you, like I said, you guys recognize darkness. You guys are actually looking for that darkness when it comes to people. You guys are really focused on people's dark sides, or you're hyper aware of it is the better word to say. You're very hyper aware of people's dark sides because you're not afraid of it. You deal with a lot of Scorpios do so much shadow work that's what they deal with. You know what I'm saying? They're not afraid of you know what I'm saying, the initiations into the underworld. All right, that's the word I was looking for. Scorpios are not afraid of the initiations to the underworld. This is why they're also part of the magician archetype because to be some magicians, they need to go to the underworld. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing about the Scorpio archetype. They have the magician and the warrior archetype. All right. Now Aquarius, this sign, you guys don't get enough credit for being the warrior archetype. But if you guys understand me, listen, Aquarius is very revolutionary, right? Very revolutionary, goes against the system. To go against the system, to go against some very powerful people, you have to have some balls, you know what I'm saying? Because it's very risky, you know what I'm saying? So Aquariuses have some of the most finest warrior spirits on the planet, all right? When they send down the strongest, finest warriors, it's usually Aquarius, people with strong Aquarius placements, all right? So Aquariuses have that warrior soul because they're not afraid of people not liking them. That's the thing about them. Like that's their power. Their power is not caring. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're so like cold and detached because they don't care. Like like they care about the world, but they don't care at the same time because they're like all about humanity. Remember, this is the planet. This is ruled by Uranus. Uranus is the generational planet that tilts to the side. So it's kind of different. It's kind of chaotic. When you're different nowadays, it creates chaos. Remember, Aquarius will do anything to stand out. They will do anything to stand out. They do not like being like everyone else. So this can definitely bring out the chaotic side, the warrior side. They have that warrior in them definitely because they will fight. They will fight. And just be a rebel. Like they always say, they're a rebel without a cause. To be a rebel, you have to be a warrior. You have to be a fighter. All right. So Aquarius is definitely look at Bob Marley. Look at Angela Davis. Look at XXXTentacion. A lot of revolutionaries have a lot of Aquarius placements. You know what I'm saying? So Aquarius is, like I said, they have that fighting spirit. Oh my gosh, they have that. They're fixed too, so they're not going to stop. They're like stubborn with it. So that's one thing about Aquarius is you guys have that fighting spirit. All right. So the next one we're going to go into is the teacher archetype. All right. So the teacher archetype, we have Sagittarius, Gemini, and Pisces. All right. So Sagittarius, you guys will be the main teacher archetype because you guys are actually represented by the teacher in astrology. So with the Sagittarius, you will notice that you guys love to learn, you guys love to teach, all right? You guys are ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is ruled by the ninth house in astrology. So the ninth house is the house of the higher self. So you guys love the higher self. The higher self is everything that has to do with Sagittarius. They all they care about is the truth. This is why the truth seekers, I even said in my last video that they have a very open third eye. So they love the truth, only the truth. All right. This is why a lot of them love to travel. They just want to really learn people. They want to really just love. They love to learn. Okay. They have strong cognitive abilities. Their IQ is usually higher than the average person. All right. So they use that higher IQ to teach people. All right. Look at Divine Insight, Sagittarius. He was a very strong teacher. So their teaching abilities, and they love to teach. It's not about teaching. It's about you. It's about the passion, the love that you have for teaching. A lot of you guys like when I make these videos because I'm not doing it like just well, I love to do this. So passion ignites the soul. It ignites the soul. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of you guys feel it on the soul level. I'm not just you're not hearing words. You're hearing that solar plexus out of me coming out because it's passion. That's why they say always find what you're passionate about. Because when you find what you're passionate about, people will listen because it's passion. Passion's fire. It's magnetic. You know what I'm saying? So Sagittarius are passionate about teaching. You know, they love to teach people because they love knowledge. This is on Sag, y'all are on the healing axis. So y'all love knowledge. You love knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You love just learning because knowledge is power to you guys, right? So this is a fire sign. Knowledge, that's why people love Sag because it's a fire sign because fire signs are passionate about everything they do. And since it's on the healing, since it's on the teacher axis, it's a fire teacher. So you guys are the master fire sign, the wisest fire sign, the teacher fire sign. So y'all not only a teacher, but you're fire with it. You know what I'm saying? You do it with swag, you do it with charisma. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very, very likable fire sign, in my opinion. I know some people controversial sometimes, but they're very, very good at teaching things. All right. Now let's go into Gemini. Gemini is also on the hill on the learning axis. All right. So since Gemini is on the learning axis, they're very good at learning. All right. Now to be a good teacher, you have to be a good learner. Okay. So since Gemini is the really one of the best learners, since they're represented by Mercury, they have the ability to use their words. Remember, they're the wordsmith. They will use their words and they will use those words to project it out in an easier way. To where a Sagittarius uses the words, but the projection is like, I'll give it like a B. Gemini would turn that B into an A. All right. So Geminis are very good with using the words and teaching you something better than a Sagittarius. All right. Because Geminis are ruled by Mercury, the fastest moving planet. All right. So teachers need to use their cognitive abilities really well. They need a lot of mental energy. And that's what Gemini has. They have a lot of mental energy. Okay. A lot of mental energy. And they're able to project and teach you everything that they want. Okay. So really good teachers because they love learning. These two signs, Sag and Gemini, get bored. They get bored fast. So people who get bored, and this goes into psychology, people who get bored very fast are the smartest people in the world. All right. And this is because someone who gets bored fast, they have a lot of mental energy. So since Gemini and Sag get so bored, it's because they have so much to learn. They always want to learn. So this is why they're so intelligent, because they have so much mental energy. They're like living up there in the you know what I'm saying, the mind. Okay, very mental. All right. So now let's go into Pisces. Pisces will be the last teacher, zodiac sign of this archetype of this class. Now understand that Pisces doesn't get enough credit for being a teacher because they're just, Pisces can do anything. But one of the things that Pisces is really good at is teaching because they're very wise. So when they teach you, they're giving you that wisdom. They're giving you strong divine wisdom because they're teaching you about spirituality. They're teaching you about not really, they're teaching you how to love, right? Like with Sag will do it more with fire, Pisces will do it more with wisdom, all right? Because Pisces is the last sign before Source. So they're gonna teach you everything, and they're gonna do it with love. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of Pisces' abilities to also teach. Like I said, they have that Sag in them because remember they're the last sign. So they have that ability to really teach you at a beautiful level. They're gonna really hold and pull your soul towards them because it's a water sign. All right, so water signs are healing. They're gonna heal you while they're teaching because remember, Pisces when they're evolved, they have a very strong healing energy. So just by listening to them, just by hearing their voice, is gonna give off a very healing energy. You're gonna really start to love their energy. All right. So that's one thing about Pisces. When it comes to the teacher archetype. Now the healer archetype would be Virgo, Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer, right? So Virgo, you guys are the practical healers, all right? Now the healing class is all about making people feel better, healing people's trauma. All right. You want to really understand that to be a healer, you gotta heal that trauma out of people. All right. You got to also do shadow work. Shadow work is very, very important for a healer. So that's one thing that they do good are good at. Virgos will practically heal you. They will give you solutions. All right, they'll give you like logical problem solving to actually help you heal, and they're gonna do it well. They will heal your body. They'll give you new diets. They'll cook for you. They're gonna really heal that routine because Virgos represent the routine, so they know how to really like remember they have that dead shot looking at they're really precise. They're gonna really look and find those areas of where you're lacking at because they're all about detoxing. So they're gonna find and really heal you on a practical level. Healing is A1 though. Next we got Cancer. They're motherly healing, nurturing healing, feminine healing. So they're gonna heal your home, like your home like energy. Because at the end of the day, every man needs to lay down, he needs to put that warrior energy down and just relax and just really breathe. So cancers are really open. They're really vulnerable. And that's why people love cancers because they're open, they're vulnerable. They're gonna teach you how to just let your emotions go. So the cancers are the real emotional healers. They're gonna use those emotions that they have. They have a lot of emotional power. Being ruled by the moon, they're going to use those emotions and they're going to allow you to be healed and safe. Remember, to feel safe, you got to have emotional vulnerability. You got to be a little bit emotionally open sometimes because if you're closed off, you're not going to feel safe. That's a sign you're not safe. But if you feel emotionally open, you're more safe. So cancers will really help that root chakra. Real good healers. They will cook for you. They're not so masculine because this is a water sign. So they will allow you to actually open up. All right. Now we have Pisces. Pisces is also very spiritual healers. They're more psychological because Pisces deal with the 12th house and that deals with subconscious mind. It deals with mental health. It deals with everything that's like spiritual, the unseen. So Pisces are really good at healing your subconscious mind. They will kind of read your subconscious mind. They have the ability Pisces have the ability to look at the back of your head a little bit and kind of tell what kind of person you are. So they can really look at you and really heal that shadow work. You will notice a lot of Pisces do a lot of shadow work. So they'll do shadow work with you and they will really heal that subconscious mind out of you. All right. Really deep shadow work, sexually healing, because you can heal through there, you can heal through that as well. They will allow you to gain a lot of spiritual power through the spiritual realm. All right. They will also help you to just transform your mind and alchemize energy. Because remember, whether it's through meditation, a Pisces will really meditate with you. They will really meditate with you and allow you to just being in the aura alone when they're evolved is like A1 because there's the two fishes, they're in the spiritual realm. So they use that magician archetype to like literally they can visualize energy around you and it's beautiful. It's just really, really beautiful. All right. So now we have the last one of this would be the Scorpio. All right, so Scorpio, You guys are very forceful healers. You guys are more aggressive healers. All right. So you guys will use your healing in a more forceful and aggressive way. All right. So you're gonna do it because you guys are ruled by Pluto. Pluto is like this. So you guys force everything that you guys do. All right. It's like not everything, but it's a lot of pressure to do something that you want to do. All right. So Scorpios are ruled by also the Phoenix at the most evolved states. So when a Scorpio sees something about you, they really feel like they have an urge to tell you because Scorpio is also the eighth house and they can see secrets. So they're more healing when it comes to when it comes to things you think they don't know. All right. So if you're like low key an aggressive person or you're low key this, low key that, Scorpios like that. They like healing the part of you that you're not really aware of. So Scorpios also a shadow work healer. They're mental healers. They're very psychological. All right. They have a lot of psychological intelligence. This is a sign that understands the mind. They understand how you tick off. They understand that. Like that's why they're really good at healing the mind as well. And they love like the thing about Scorpio, they love hard, play hard, they hate hard. So everything they do is hard. So they're gonna hear you. And that's why I say it's gonna be a little bit more forceful and aggressive because they're gonna do it with power, intensity, and force, you know. So that's important. So if you are someone who wants to be healed very fast and forcefully, you don't care about the the Looney Tunes and Disney worlds. Scorpio will do that better. They will do that in an easier, oh, I don't say better, an easier way. You will get over it, but they're gonna do it easier. All right. So now we have the royalty archetype. So the royalty archetype would be Leo and Capricorn. Leo, you guys have a strong God complex because you guys are ruled by the sun. So the sun, everything revolves around the sun. The Mercury, the moon, everything revolves around the sun. So Leos honestly love being worshipped in a way. It's a little bit. They love attention. They love validation. So a lot of Leos might have dreams of them being a queen in their past life, a king in their past life. They could have been royalty. They could have been really high status because they have that. They have that and they're designed to be very royal. The same with Capricorn. Since you guys do rule the 10th house, you guys have a high status. You guys have a love for high status. You respect high status. All right. It's in your purpose to low key build something, but high status does represent Capricorn. And usually kings or queens or anyone, whatever, empresses have a high status. So this is why I put these two into the royalty archetype, because if you have these placements in your past life, definitely could have been a king or queen. Um definitely could have been royalty. All right, very important. All right. Now this video is over YouTube. This video is not meant to be too long. It's just, it's gonna get way too long, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go into the honorable mentions. Libra. I gave Libra into the political archetype. All right. Libras are very political. They like being a leader. Vito saying 14, perfect leader, very political. We also have Taurus and Capricorn. I added these into the builder archetype, the builder class, because you guys love to build things. All right. So that's one thing that I do love about earth signs. Are good builders. All right. But these two earth signs particularly, you guys are more in the builder archetype, here to really build a legacy. Without further ado, YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. I'll show you something. At this time, you're being called to raise your vibration. Take your soul